We are back. Season 2 of Lay 'em on the Line is here, and we are breaking down the opening weekend of the National Football League. We got our special guest, Ryan Stulken, joining us later. But let's get into things here. Starting back on Thursday night, the NFL keeps us on the seat of our pants opening weekend. You got a Thursday game, Friday, Sunday, and then, of course, we're going to cap off the first weekend with the Monday Night Football game. But let's go back to Thursday night. It was a high-flying return to the NFL. The Chiefs doing what they do, beating the Ravens 27-20, the final score in that one. And it came down to the very end. It came down to the foot of, was it Isaiah Likely? Right there in the back of the end zone. And the Chiefs emerged victorious. I think they've beaten them 5 out of 6 times now, the Ravens. Ravens always put up a fight, but they just can't get past Kansas City. And it was a great return to football. What were your kind of thoughts on this one, Russell? What'd you think about the Chiefs over the Ravens?
I wasn't surprised. I would have loved to see the Ravens beat the Chiefs, to be honest with you. I wish Isaiah Likely had size 10 instead of size 14 freaking shoes. One thing that stuck out to me in that game is that dumb illegal formation that they threw like 3 flags on in a row. And I don't know if I saw it one other time on Sunday or Monday. It's just like, I know they wanted to make their point, and they clearly did. The first flag made the point. The second flag really made their point. And on top of that, they got a warning. But I thought Lamar looked really good. Everyone keeps commenting on how skinny he is. He's lost all this weight. I don't really give a shit about it. Is that really going to help him? He's already one of the fastest, most elusive players in the NFL, losing 15 pounds. Probably worse for him. Mark Andrews, I don't know if he's washed or they just didn't look his way, but I think Isaiah Likely's kind of taken his spot on the throne there. At least it looked that way in week 1. And then I think Kelsey is just going to sit tight, hang back until the playoffs start. I don't think he's going to start really being his old Travis Kelce stuff until they need him to be. So if you're a fantasy owner of Travis Kelce, I think you maybe should start looking other ways. He may give you 6, 7, 8 points a game, but I don't think he's going to be racking up those 25 points a game. But I don't know. You made a TikTok on this one. You predicted the over the Chiefs, or what did you have?
I had the under, which was 47.5. So that touchdown to tie it would have boned me. It would have been fucked. So I was cheering like a motherfucker for that foot to be out. Live, I thought it was in. And then they showed the replay, and I'm like, they got to overturn this. I don't care if they called it a touchdown. They got to go to replay and fix this baby. And they did. So I cashed on the under by a half a point. So
it's a great way to start the year.
It was a great way to start the year. I was super pissed for a minute there, though. I was losing it.
What are your thoughts on Xavier Worthy? You think he's the next Tyreek Hill, or you think maybe this was just kind of a fluke, or what are you thinking of him?
I think he could be pretty good. I think he had a touchdown pass in the game. So, I mean, it's last year that was their biggest weakness was he had 2. It was the biggest weakness last year was they were throwing to damn Kadarius Toney, and they didn't really have much other option. So I think they got their guy. Kadarius Toney, by the way, I believe signed with the Browns today. So Deshaun Watson, getting a little extra help. But no, I think he's the real deal. They got him for a reason. And, I mean, they won a Super Bowl last year throwing to a bunch of plumbers. So I like their chances of going for that three-peat. Do you think they got enough to do it again this year? Do you think they're the top dog? Does anyone contend with them? I guess we haven't seen the Niners yet. We'll see them later tonight. But it looks like
they're
again.
I think they definitely have enough. I mean, they Rashee Rice in his second year, he looked damn good. I think he's going to be a great wide receiver 1. They add Worthy. Noah Gray's developing into a nice little tight end option for him. They're definitely the top dogs. As long as they have Patrick Mahomes, they're going to be top dogs. There's some teams out there that can beat them, no doubt. But I'm guessing. I haven't looked. I'm guessing they're the Super Bowl odd favorites. Them are the 49ers.
Yeah, I would say them, San Francisco. And then there's, I mean, in the AFC at least, like the next best team is the Ravens. And they had to do everything in their power to just tie the game. They couldn't even do that. So
it looks like that game's in Baltimore, though. He may have a different. I mean, they went toe to toe with them. I mean, they could have easily gone overtime with them. So the Chiefs are beatable. They're not they're not Georgia of the college football league. They're definitely beatable. They could lose 3-4 games this year and definitely be beat in the playoffs. But they're no doubt in my mind the number 1 top dog right now.
The toughest thing is you got to beat them and the refs. There was a lot of fishy calls in this game. You talked about illegal formation. They kept calling it on the Ravens. But, I mean, you have the tackle for the Chiefs jumping, false starting early. They didn't call that. Then Steve Spagnuolo's calling timeouts on the sideline. That's not allowed. Everyone knows
Yeah,
that.
that was bullshit.
It was bullshit. It was a little. I mean, I hate to say it, but I think the Chiefs are the new Patriots. They're gonna get these calls.
Hey, that's just how it goes, though. That's how the NFL's always been. That's how it's going to be. The top dogs get the calls, and you're going to have to overcome that one way or another. Not have it come down to that, but the fact that there's just no. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do about a defense coordinator calling a timeout, but just a slap on the wrist. Let's keep playing. No problem. You got it,
Should have been a
Steve.
penalty.
Yeah, I know. What? That seems pretty freaking easy to me to throw a flag on, but they're the Chiefs. If that happens to the Colts, Sheets, they're getting a flag.
I know. We don't. I mean, we don't have a Patrick Mahomes yet. Well, maybe we do, but we're not there yet. I mean, do you have any final thoughts on the Chiefs Ravens? I mean, it was probably the best game of the weekend. I know we had some good ones, but I think it was definitely the most exciting finish. Justin Tucker missed a field goal. That was big too as well.
Yes, he washed.
I don't know. Usually 53 is like routine for him, but couldn't get it done.
I'll tell you what, he's got someone on his heels to take over the reins as best kicker, and it's that kid in Dallas, Brandon Aubrey. That fucker does not miss ever.
That's true.
So we look for that this year. I'm going to see Justin Tucker kind of going down, Brandon Aubrey going up. He's going to take the reins from him.
New throne, maybe a passing of the torch kicker-wise. It's been a long run at the top for Justin Tucker, but he's got to give it up at some point.
Still, is he the best kicker of all time?
Adam Vinatieri, Sheets.
If you weren't a Colts fan, is he the best kicker of all time?
I think he still is the best kicker of all time. Adam Vinatieri.
All right. Fair.
He's close, though. Justin Tucker's close. I also like Sebastian Janikowski. I don't know if he's the best of the best, but I miss Seabass.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on to the Friday game. Now I gotta go on a quick rant. Why the fuck are we opening the season in a fucking soccer field in Brazil with two good teams? It's not like, like they'd send like shitty teams over to Germany and fucking, United Kingdom, whatever. This is two good teams, Super Bowl contending teams, and they send their ass to fucking Brazil in a soccer field, and then you got guys slipping around, and that honestly kind of stole the news. I mean, the Eagles ended up beating the Packers, as you know, but the news that kind of came out of it that was the biggest news of all was Jordan Love got hurt. Like, that's taken away from the ending. Like, that's what everyone was talking about after the game was Jordan Love. They kind of forgot about the game. So I'll let you take the lead. I know you're a Packers fan, so what were your thoughts on that? And then maybe give us a little bit of J Love update.
Yeah, they hopefully that's the last time they do that shit going down to Brazil. I know the NFL is trying to grow the game, make more money, whatever. I don't care. Protect the players. They don't need to be flying. I don't know how long that flight is, but it's just ridiculous. We don't take them to Mexico. I don't care. Canada, anywhere else. As far as Jordan Love goes, 3 to 4 weeks, Shefty says. Thank God it's not more than that. It looked like it could have been more than that. If it was, I wouldn't be as in good of a mood as I am. But they fought hard. The boys had a chance, a couple mistakes. It's kind of hoping, and a lot of season left, but Christian Watson needs to, if he's really going to be that wide receiver one. Right now, I think it's damn near Jaden. I mean, we have 4 different wide receiver ones, and none of them are a true wide receiver one. And Josh Jacobs, he's not great. I don't really enjoy him that much. He looked cool, number 28 in the Packers uniform. But we got Malik Willis coming in. We'll take the L first week. Thank God. It was to the Eagles. I'm fine losing to the Eagles. I didn't want to lose to the Giants or the Vikings, someone else. So we'll take an L there. Going forward, we got an easy schedule. We play the Colts next week. So all we need is Malik Willis to win 2 games of the next 4. And hopefully give the reins back to Jordan Love when we're 2-3, 3-2, if that's possible. He just can't lose 4 in a row. I've got my hopes high still for the playoffs, and I still think we're a Super Bowl contending team. And the defense looked a lot better than I thought. But that's from a Packers fan perspective, so I'd be interested to hear about it from someone who's not all Packers.
Well, I mean, you lost me there about the schedule gets easier. I think it gets tougher. You got Indianapolis this week. I don't know. That you might have to chalk that one up as one of those L's for Malik Willis. You might have to find wins somewhere else. But you talked about Josh Jacobs. I mean, Josh Jacobs is a solid back, but he's aging. He's getting older. Like, I don't know if that when they signed him in, I'm like, that's a good signing, obviously, but I don't know if it moves the needle a ton. I mean, he did okay, 16 carries, like 80 some yards, but he wasn't, compared to the running back on the other sidelines. I mean, Saquon Barkley. That was my biggest takeaway. Was Saquon was. Thank God he got out of the shitty franchise. Just think about the things Saquon Barkley could have done if he wasn't playing for the bum ass Giants. You get one game in Philadelphia, he goes for 3 touchdowns. He's the first Eagles player to make his debut for in the Eagles uniform to go for 3 touchdowns since Terrell Owens did it back in 2004. I mean, the Eagles looked, I thought, very good. They shit their pants last year against Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. A lot of people weren't high on them coming in. But I don't know. I think they look like they are going to really be in contention in the NFC again this year. I know that people thought they were going to do that last year, but I think adding Saquon is a whole different beast. And thank God he's out of fucking bum-ass New York because I think he can do a lot of great things for them.
Yeah, we'll get to New York. I got some things to say about them. But, yeah, Saquon definitely – I mean, DeAndre Swift did a good job for him last year, but Saquon brings him to another level. Their O-line – took a hit a little bit. It's not as good as it was. They're going to be a contender. I hope you're a closet Cowboy fan. I hope they win that division. I hate the Cowboys, as everyone knows if you've listened before. But yeah, they're good. They're going to be one of the top teams in the NFC. Them, the Lions, a few others may sneak up in there. But like I said, if we're going to lose to a team week 1 in frickin' Brazil, sure, let's lose to the Eagles. Like I said, it could have been a lot worse than that. It was a close game too. We could have won that game.
It was a close game. It went back and forth, high scoring game. I mean, one team would score, the other team would answer. It was an entertaining game. I think the fans of Brazil got a good show. They seemed like they didn't really know what to do. The fans were a little confused, but I think they, maybe the NFL converted some full-time fans down there in Brazil.
Yeah, but I'm sure next year they'll be playing in China or Mongolia or somewhere else.
Probably.
Waste of time.
That was a Thursday and Friday game. Let's just hit some of the big ones here on Sunday. I mean, I'll talk about my Colts first. I mean, it was a rematch of the Week 18 game last year. The winner, goes to the playoffs. And I was really wanting to get revenge. I still had a sour taste in my mouth from the former Hawkeye Tyler Goodson dropping that pass. We were so close, to going to the playoffs. But, we dropped a close one again, 29-27. But the good news out of it is AR-15 is legitimate. He is Lamar Jackson who can actually throw the ball. I don't know if you saw any of his highlights, but he threw a fucking 80-yard touchdown pass, slipping and falling down 80 yards on the dot. Like, he is legit. But the fucking problem is we can't stop a cold on defense. Joe Mixon was running all over our ass. First game as a Texan, he lights us up. A Yankee had 160 yards. And, every third down, we would sometimes get him in the third long, but then they convert every damn third down, including one at the end there that pretty much sealed it. So it's tough to take an L. The Colts have a nasty, nasty streak. We haven't won an opening game since I was a freshman in high school, Sheets, since I was 15 years old. We had a tie in there. The Matt Ryan year we tied, but we've lost every other fucking game. We haven't won a game since 2013. I got to wait a whole nother year for this fucking streak to end now.
Hey, there's worse streaks to have. There's worse. Your twin streak. You could be the Twins of the NFL.
I mean, that's two teams with nasty streaks. Twins, finally got that one off their back. But, I mean, it's 2 teams that's tough to cheer for, man. The Twins didn't win a playoff game for fucking 18 years. And the Colts haven't won an opening day game in, 12 years now? Since 2013, 11 years now. I keep telling myself this year, I'm like, this is the year it ends. And we were close. We had a tie, but no win. However, though, in that streak, we didn't cover the spread any of those games. We finally covered the spread. So we're getting closer. We didn't win, but we at least covered the spread. So
there's good teams win, great teams cover.
That's true. And that took us plus 2.5. So we barely covered that one. So we got that going for us. Maybe next year is the year we actually win, end that streak. I mean, damn it, dude. You have 4 years of high school. I even took an extra year of undergrad. I did a 5th year, and now I'm in fucking graduate school, man. Like, what do I do? Be a doctor before we fucking win the first game? So that's my main gripe. Is defense looked not good. We didn't win an opening game, but AR-15 is legit. And you know, we also were down Josh Downs. We were down another receiver, but I mean, we put in AD Mitchell, and then honestly, dude, people were kind of writing off Alec Pierce. They're like, he's not going to be very good. He looks like he's going to be nothing. He was a leading receiver, dude. 3 catches for 125 yards. That motherfucker's averaging 40 yards a catch. So there's encouraging signs. I don't know. It's pretty much it's Packers hate week. I think, you know, I'd rather play J Love, but maybe we can get an easy win with Malik Willis, who, by the way, I mean, I don't know what you thought. We already talked about him, but I forgot to say the Tennessee Titans would rather have old man Tannehill and Mayo man Will Levis over Malik Willis. They dumped his ass. So I don't know how encouraging that is, but
yeah, no, it's not. It's not. He's 0-2 against the Colts in his career, both close games. I was looking up highlights of his today. There were some good throws in there, some shitty throws too. But your Colts game, a couple takeaways. You're right. You couldn't stop the run at all. And it wasn't just Joe Mixon. They had 5 people that had different attempts, and they all averaged over 5 yards a rush, including 3 receivers.
Yeah.
So that's got to be fixed. As far as AR being legitimate, that throw he had was amazing. The 80-yard, 2 of them. He had 2 amazing throws. I will say he was 9 for 19. He's got the raw talent. They got to coach him up to be a little bit more accurate, a little bit better, get him in the groove a little more. 9 completions is not going to win you too many games this year. He ran for like 65 or 56 yards. And yeah, he's got the talent. I mean, not many quarterbacks can do what he just did. Then those 2 throws in the league, maybe 2 people, Josh Allen and I don't know, maybe Patrick Mahomes. No, not Stafford. But that's the good thing is you can't coach that shit. You can coach the 5-yard outs, the slant routes. Like, so if he can get that going and maybe, you know, go 15 for 24 next week, a couple more completions, he's in a good spot. I like him. He's not afraid to take a hit. He doesn't care about injuries, which could be a problem later down the road. But he's ballsy, he's gutsy. He can make plays like that. So if he can figure out that other small shit, I think he's gonna be pretty good. Probably the Colts quarterback for the foreseeable future.
I mean, it's only his 5th game in the NFL, and he's looking for only playing 5 games. I'm liking what I'm seeing. He's going to continue to improve each week, like you said, as long as he's not fucking getting his bell rung like he did last year every single game. As long as he keeps staying healthy, keeps improving each week. You know, when we lose, the freaking Texans were the division champ. We're knocking on the door of a Super Bowl last year, and we hung in tight. So I mean, that's how he looks in his 5th game. I'm feeling good. Jonathan Taylor, he needed to get a little bit more from him. 16 carries, 48 yards. We need him to take the pressure off of. Richardson. It just seemed like this game reminded me of like the Andrew Luck era. The defense is not doing dick, and the quarterback's got to do everything by himself, and that's a lot to ask for a young quarterback. So it was encouraging loss. I'm still sick to my stomach extending this. It's the end of the longest opening day drought in the NFL currently right now. I want to get that monkey off our back. But there's encouraging signs. There's no way I think we lose to Malik Willis in the Packers this week. If I do, I'm going to be real upset. 0-2 and we lose to Malik Willis. So I'm hoping we bounce back this week. We'll have to see. Let's see.
Hey, let's play a game called Guess That Spread next week.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
I know it, so you guess.
I think I saw it, but I don't know if it's changed since then. You guys are still favored, right?
Nope.
Is it not now? I thought you guys were before.
Indianapolis -3.5. Green Bay is now +150.
Wow, that switched because it was before the injury. It was like Green Bay like -4.5. So it's taking a big turn. I mean, it's still close. That's still tight for starting Malik Willis. That's still a pretty tight spread. That tells me it still could be an interesting game. I don't think we're going to blow you out by any means. I would like to think that we are the favorite for a reason, but it still could be dicey. I'm not counting this. I'm not saying it's totally in the bag.
We'll win. Hammer Green Bay money line.
Okay. All right. Okay. If you say so, I say hammer Colts money line next week. But we can agree to disagree. Some of these Sunday games, what do you think? We can each pick one that stood out, and then until we get to Stulken. Well, obviously we got the Sunday night game. We'll get to that. What about some of these noon games? What going to stood out from the noon slate?
Well, we'll get to the Vikings game when
Right.
the purple people eater comes on.
Yeah.
I kind of want to talk about how bad the Bengals looked. I know they missed T. Higgins, but losing to the goddamn Patriots and Joe Burrow couldn't get anything going. Zach Moss played okay. They ran the ball actually fine, but the fact that's a game you have to win. I know they're not a great September team. Every year they start off slow and they start off like shit. I think what was it? Was it last year or 2 years ago? They were like 1-4 and then won like 8 straight in a row.
Right.
So I mean, this isn't anything new. But you talk about having a monkey off your back. You'd like to. I know you missed T. Higgins, but you still have Jamar Chase and Zach Moss and Joe Burrow and a decent defense. How in the world do you lose to the New England Pats, who, by the way, we're supposed to win like 1 or 2 games this year? Like, they're not a good team with like. I don't know. I'm kind of if I had an AFC team, I shouldn't even say that. I like Joe Burrow a lot. I like Jamar Chase. I like T. Higgins. I kind of like this Bengals team. I kind of wish they would win a Super Bowl and get over the hump. But God damn, I hope they figure it out. Jacoby Brissett looked okay. What do you think? Should Jacoby be starting, or don't they have Drake May too?
They drafted Drake May, but Jacoby Brissett's a vet of the game. They think he has the best chance to win, and he fucking did it yesterday. So it looks like they made the right move. I still expect Drake May to get in at some point. Jacoby Brissett has always been like a temporary guy.
Former Colt.
He's a former Colt. He got us through the first year without Andrew Luck. So I've always been a Brissett fan. He got us through a dark period. And we missed the playoffs that year, but it was still kind of a fun, all things considered, it was kind of fun to watch him play for us that year. So I've always been a Brissett guy. I'm glad he won the job. I don't know how good Drake May is. I really don't. If Jacoby Brissett cannot turn the ball over, which is what they didn't do, they won the turnover battle 3-0. Bengals had 3 turnovers. Patriots turned it over 0. So if he can play a clean game, and it looks like they have a solid enough defense, they can hang around in some of these games. That was really a deciding factor. I mean, the Bengals only lost by 6, but honestly, I didn't think they put up much of a fight. Even though they lost a close game, they didn't put up much of a fight at all, I thought. Turning the ball over, just T. Higgins was trying to fucking blame it. Oh, I had food poisoning all week. Just fucking go out there. There's no excuses. Food poisoning or not, you're playing the damn Patriots. They don't have old man Belichick. It's Gerard Mayo's first game as a head coach. There's no excuse for losing that motherfucker, in my opinion.
They've got a whole pharmacy of drugs that can make him feel better on that sideline. Let's not act like they don't have something they can't give him to get out in the field. But my thought process is if you're the Patriots, which we won't spend much time on, they're irrelevant. But you have Drake May, you drafted this quarterback. You know you're not going anywhere this year. So if he loses first pick in the draft, one of them, give him the experience and let him learn this year. And then you at least figure out if he's the guy or not going forward. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I get Jacoby Brissett's a better option right now, but they're not in win now mode. Figure out if Drake May's your guy now. Get him some learning experience and play the rookie. If I was a Patriots fan, I'd be wanting him out there.
My guess is they thought Jacoby Brissett had what it took. They probably thought he had their best chance to win week 1. My guess is when they play a good team and Brissett starts to suck, then they'll bring in the kid. But I think they knew this week is like, hey, we could maybe win this motherfucker. Let's see what Brissett has. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, with Drake May. If they want to throw him in right away, maybe they want to do like a Kirk Cousins in Atlanta. It's like, hey, this is our guy for the year. Let him learn the ropes a little bit. I mean, they got options. Brissett looked good enough, so we'll see. My bet is once he starts to suck, that's inevitable. Jacoby Brissett will put up a stinker. Then they probably will pull the leash on him and get the kid in. But we'll see for now. The toughest thing for the Bengals, though, is they play the Chiefs next week. I think it's on the road, too. So they could be looking at 0-2. I don't think Bengals fans saw that shit coming.
No, I'd be a little pissed if I was a Bengals fan. But you're right. They go on the road at Chiefs, but then they got the Commanders and Panthers after that, so they'll be fine.
We'll see. That's probably thought this was going to be. They're probably already scouting the Chiefs this week. They probably didn't look at any game films. What it looked like at least. Speaking of noon games, the one that stood out to me was the Bears got to win. The Tennessee Titans handed them that shit. Caleb Williams didn't do dick. People were trying to gas him up. You got to win as a rookie. That dude didn't even throw for 100 yards. Caleb Williams, 14 of 19 for 93 yards. I thought he looked bad. I'm not super high on Caleb Williams, but I can't really say shit because they won the game, but it was all defense and special teams. Mailman Will Levis is not good. He's not good. I know he doesn't have a ton of weapons, but I mean, you get Tony Pollard in the backfield. Calvin Ridley's pretty good. Tyler Boyd's a little older, but he's a good receiver. He's a solid receiver still.
D-Hop.
I mean, I hate the Titans. I was glad to see them lose that one, but they really handed that one to the Bears. But I mean, what do you think? Does it matter how Caleb Williams looked, or is the win a win?
I mean, I had Titans +4, and so I was freaking livid watching this game. But both quarterbacks played like shit. Now, Will Levis, he's got some experience over his belt. He should probably play better than what he did. I don't think his ceiling's very high, though. I think he does have weapons. Like Tyler Boyd's not a great receiver, but he's a good receiver. Calvin Ridley, D-Hop, Traylon Burks is still – Traylon Burks and D-Hop combined for 2 catches for 10 yards. That can't happen. No. But on the Bears side, yeah, I saw Caleb Williams kind of like celebrating and jumping up for joy after the game. It's like, yeah, I get it. I mean, I kind of get both sides. Like, as a rookie quarterback, you just want to win. But you played like shit, dude. I mean, you didn't turn the ball over, but you also didn't throw any touchdowns. You were under 50% completion rate, and you've got all the weapons in the world. I mean, you want to talk about a team that's got DeAndre Swift, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Romeo Dunze, Cole Kmet is even a pretty decent tight end, I think. And I started him. I could have either started your boy Dak Prescott or Caleb Williams in fantasy. I'm like, Dak plays the Browns, pretty good defense. Caleb Williams plays the shit Titans, and he'll run the ball maybe. Hopefully have a touchdown or 2. Nope. Had like 9 fantasy points. Like, come on, dude. Yeah. That for someone who's supposed to be all that, the number 1 pick, I get it. It's your first game. But I don't know if it was a play calling, him, he's got to play better. And he'll probably will. He'll learn a little bit. So I'll cut him some slack because it is his first game. But he was not what people thought he was going to be, I don't think. At least week 1.
No, he reminded me of you in a group project. Signing your name at the top. Everyone else does all the work, and you still get an A+.
Yeah, that was me. That was for sure me. Everyone's in the library while I'm playing NCAA football back in the Res 318.
That's what it was, dude. He signed his name at the top, got an A+, and let's see who they play next week. Looking ahead here, they play the Texans on the road. Oh, that's right. I got a little bit of gripe. I had the same gripe last year a couple weeks. The Bears and Texans are Sunday Night Football next week. What the fuck is that? There's better games than that. I get it's Caleb Williams. You're going to get some eyeballs. But shit, dude, I don't want to end my Sunday night watching the fucking dog shit Bears.
Well, here's on the contrary sheets. I don't want to watch that game week 16 when the Bears are freaking 4-12. I'm glad they're having this early where people still have these hopes for Caleb Loves and this Bears team, even though I think they're going to be dog shit this year. So I get it. It's not the best matchup in the world, but like I said, I'd rather watch them week 2 than when they're irrelevant week 14. So if they want to put Caleb Williams against CJ Stroud, do it now. Fine.
It's true. I guess look at the schedule. The schedule isn't great. Like you said, if you were going to throw a Bears on primetime, this probably would be the best one. The best game of the week by far is the Bengals Chiefs. But that kind of works well at the 3 o'clock slot with Tony Romo on the call and all that shit, Jim Nantz. So maybe it does make sense. But still, I just saw that. I'm like, yeah, great. That's what I get to watch next week. Fucking the Bears who suck and the Texans who I hate. But We'll see. Maybe he can put up a fight or something, but I'm not a total fan of that. I get his week 2, I guess. The matchups aren't going to be spectacular, but just I saw that last night, the promo, and I'm just like, oh my god.
How about this game with pretty similar quarterback play? At least one quarterback didn't turn the ball over and they ended up getting the win. The other one did look like shit and turned the ball over. The Steelers beating the Falcons 18-10. Russell Wilson, who I had in my lineup in a 2-quarterback league, inactive. He was in pads on the sideline. I'm not sure what that was all about. But Justin Fields comes in, the former Bear, plays okay, 17 for 23. Had over 200 yards total, but no touchdowns, no picks. And then Kirk Cousins and the brand new team, brand new offense, played like shit. 1 touchdown, 2 picks. One of the picks was god awful. They have a lot of talent, and they still did not look good. But I was surprised to see Kirk struggle that much against the Steelers.
Kirk Cousins looked like dog doo-doo. And I think it's time. I've seen all I need to see. If I'm the GM or the head coach of the Falcons, I'm yanking his old ass. Kmart Kirk can sit on the bench. Michael Penix Jr. was the best quarterback in that class. I don't give a fuck what you're paying Kmart Kirk. Sit his ass down. Kirk O'Champs can fucking hold the fucking playbook. He can hold the clipboard. Put the young kid in. You can't lose to Justin Fields, who the Bears fucking gave up on after 3 years. They're like, we've seen enough of this guy. Get him out. He was supposed to be the dude, and they overnight they booted his ass out. So if I'm a Falcons fan, I don't want to see a full year of Kirk Chains. Get him out. The Vikings,
I disagree. He's better than Michael Penix Jr. He definitely is. And maybe it's a new offense, Sheets. Maybe he's just got to take some time. But I think your shots of winning that division are better with Kirk at under center than Michael Penix.
I don't know. He looked like crap yesterday. He threw 2 picks. I mean, and the Steelers were only kicking field goals. Chris Boswell, shout out to him, by the way. That motherfucker nailed 6 field goals, 3 of them 50-plus yards. But still, like, the Steelers are only going down there scoring 3. Like, they only scored 18 points. You can't beat them. Like, I don't know. I was not impressed with Kirk Cousins. 155 yards passing, 2 picks. I was not impressed at all. I thought he looked awful.
Move over Aaron Donald after retirement. TJ Watt is that dude. He is so fucking good. He's a game changer. And I usually have one guy on defense besides Aaron Donald and TJ Watt and maybe JJ in his prime don't make an impact like they do with just being one guy. But he had 2 strip sack fumbles. One of them got called because he was offside, which was bullshit. He was not offsides, but all right, I wish he was on a better team because I wish he was more relevant and not on the Pittsburgh Steelers. But
yeah, I mean, shout out Justin Fields. He didn't play great by any means, but he did what he had to do. He got him down there. Najee Harris, I love this. It's a good running back stat. I love this. This is my kind of game. Najee Harris, 20 carries, 70 yards, man. Not a lot of yards per carry, but he was a fucking workhorse. He got him down there. Fields did it. He had some good carries too, 14 carries, 50 yards. I mean, I was a classic Steelers game. I've always found myself rooting for the Steelers. I like the way they do things. You know damn well they're going to finish above 500, whether it's Justin Fields or Old Man Wilson. Like, they're going to keep that stat going. They're going to be there in the playoff mix as long as what's his name's the head coach. They ain't going to finish below 500. So I thought it was impressive.
Shout out Papa Canoe. I see him in the comment section. We'll get to tonight's game when our guest comes on at 6:15. We're gonna recap the Vikings a little bit, and then we got a new segment for you, especially if you're placing some money out there. So just hang tight.
Yeah, we will get to Breece Hall's rushing total once Ryan Stulken joins us here, he'll be on here about 10 minutes, which means we got a few more games here we got to get to. Let's go to that Dallas Browns game. That was supposed to be kind of the marquee matchup, and it was a stinker of a game. Deshaun Watson, man, he is taking a lot of heat. You know, I don't know if we want to do segments now or later, but I'll just tell you right now, he is my ass hat of the week. This guy I actually had some hope for. I thought, I'm like, this year he's got a solid team around him. I think this guy can maybe have a bounce back year, kind of return to the Deshaun Watson of old. He looked like shit, man. I mean, he threw a perfect pass, one perfect pass, and it was all the way on the sideline, right to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb caught on the sideline. It's 3rd and 8. He's checking down to dudes for 3-yard gains. Like, he just doesn't have it anymore. And I don't know if it's like a locker room thing, if no one wants to be around him because he's a scumbag or what it is. An offensive lineman was knocked down. He tried to help him up. The offensive lineman fucking slapped his hand out of the way and got up himself. It didn't look good. I had high hopes for the Browns. They made the playoffs last year with fucking Joe Flacco. So I'm like, get Watson back. And I know that they're down a running back right now, but I don't know. It was a terrible performance. And then the second, I'm like, okay, they'll come back out in the second half and pick things up. And then they fucking give up like a damn punt return right away, whatever it was. It's like, this is not good.
The best part about it, $230 million guaranteed. They're paying that man $230 million. What in the? I mean, they're stuck with him now. I mean, you either you either play the guy and keep losing, or let the guy ride the bench and just keep cutting him a check every week for millions of dollars. So he sucks. He's probably in the bottom 5 league quarterback right now. I think he's going to continue to be. You did your ASAT. Our game ball and ASAT are coming in the same game. But my game ball is not going to a specific person. It's actually going to the whole Cowboys defense. They made the Browns look freaking terrible. I think they definitely had 1 touchdown, sacked them like 6 to 7 times. They couldn't get anything going. And they're on the road. Like, a defense is not supposed to play that well on the road. And Deshaun Watson just made him look like the Ravens defense with Ed Reed and those guys. But god damn, they're good. They're going to be a problem. I hate to admit it. The Cowboys, actually, this is great. Let the Cowboys get their hopes up. Make sure, let them think their defense is all world. Dak Prescott getting paid, CeeDee Lamb with them. It's going to be awesome. BJ, we were talking to BJ at the Iowa State game. He's like, I don't have any hopes. Guess what? It's coming. And then they're going to be let down, like always. And I'm going to be laughing here on this podcast with BJ right below us. But yeah, good win out of the Cowboys. Browns, I don't know where you go from here. They're a dumpster fire.
They are. It's going to be tough to come back from. They play the Jaguars on the road next week, so it's going to be another tough game. It should be a winnable game, though, despite how bad they looked. Should be a winnable game, I would think. But it was not good at all. And then you talk about paying Deshaun Watson. Right before the game started, the Cowboys inked a deal with Dak Prescott. He's the first dude to make $16 million or average $60 million a year. I mean, it's a lot to hold up like his end of the bargain of. He looked good. I mean, he didn't crap his bed right after getting the deal announced. That's a good sign. I thought there was a chance they announced a deal, and then he comes out and just stinks it up. So that's encouraging, but I don't know, $60 million? That's a lot of money for Dak Prescott, a guy who's never done much of anything in the playoffs.
How about the guy who looked like he should be paid $230 million? My boy, Baker Mayfield, out in the Buccaneers. Probably the best quarterback performance of the weekend. Definitely is, now that I'm thinking about it. No picks, 4 touchdowns, 289 yards, 24 for 30. Granted, he's got Mike Evans, who just seems to catch any ball thrown his way, no matter where it's at on the field. But damn, he looked good. I might have to look into their odds to win that division. I know the Saints looked good, but they played the shit mighty Panthers. The Falcons looked like crap, and the Panthers have zero shot of even winning 3 games this year. I'm going to have to look into that. I might look up to the Buccaneers to win that division. I know that's your favorite division in football. But on the other hand, I want to hear your thought. What about Jaden Daniels? Did you get to see any of this game? You see the rookie quarterback's debut or no?
I did watch a lot in my dynasty league with Stulken and those guys. I drafted him this year in the rookie draft, and I started him. I was like, am I going to go with Matt Stafford this week? Am I going to go with the kid? Took a chance on Jaden Daniels. He put up good numbers. I think he had 28 fantasy points. I was wanting him to cover the spread, +4. He didn't do that, but I don't think that was really his fault. The defense could not stop Baker Mayfield, like you said. Baker Mayfield, by the way, has got to be laughing it up. He probably sees what he left behind in Cleveland, and he's like, thank God I'm not in shitty Cleveland. I'm down in Florida in the sun on the beach, and I got a good team behind me. So I'm glad for Baker Mayfield. That was a guy people wrote off after his Browns experience didn't work out very well. I don't know. Maybe that team, the Browns, going back to them, is just cursed. They don't have a good quarterback ever.
No, they have had a good quarterback forever. When they did, they didn't even keep him around it. Now he's throwing 4 touchdowns at Baker for the Buccaneers. Bucks are plus 240 to win that division. The Falcons are still the favorite, which surprised me. They've got Rashad White, who looks good. Bucky Irving, the rookie running back, seem to have some legs underneath them. Still got Godwin, still got Evans. The defense is okay. I don't know. I might have to responsibly place a big wager on them to win the NFC South.
I think that's a good bet. I think I might join you. I don't like what I saw from the Falcons. Obviously, my boy Derek Carr is capable of doing anything, but it's not going to be I don't think it's going to be the Falcons. I don't think it's going to be the Panthers. So that's not a bad bet. Plus 240, that's good odds, I would say.
Yeah, I'm taking it.
Perfect. Plug that baby in. Let's get to one last game before Stulken joined us here in a couple minutes. That was Sunday night's game last night. It went to OT. Rematch of last year's playoff game. David Montgomery, your boy, walks it off an OT from 1 yard out. 26-20, the final score. The Lions up and the Rams once again. It was a great game. I love a low-scoring game. That was my favorite game I watched of the weekend. It didn't end the way I wanted to. I had a lot of dough riding on the Rams, and was hoping for a field goal there at the end. The OT rules stink. Matt Stafford should have got another chance. You go to extra innings in baseball. The first team scores in the top of the 10th inning. The other team gets to go at bat and get a chance. The NFL, no. It's over. This isn't 1955 anymore. Winner for sudden death. Figure your shit out. You're going to fuck around with the kickoff, make new rules for the kickoff, which fucking is stupid. Fix your OT rules, something that actually matters.
I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again. I love the idea of giving both, just like college, give both teams the opportunity, but start them on the 50. That way they either have a chance of not scoring at all, scoring a field goal, or scoring a touchdown. And just keep doing that until it's over. I guarantee it's not going to be 4 overtime games. I mean, they'll have a couple where it's field goal, but you're also going to have a lot where it's just a first defensive stop, and then the team gets at least a chance to go kick a field goal for the win or score a touchdown. But yeah, the OT, and then they change it for the playoffs. It's like, I understand you can't have ties in playoffs, but the other team does get the ball. They get a chance in the playoffs, whether they're going to tie or not. It's like, if you're going to do it for the playoffs, do it for the regular season. I don't want any ties at all, in fact. Fuck the ties. A win and a loss.
Just do it. The league talks about a big game about player safety. They don't give a fuck about player safety. They don't do shit for CTE. They already add a 17th game. Now they're trying to add 18. So why the fuck not give another team another possession in overtime? Doesn't make any sense. Like I said, you're fucking around at the kickoff this year, which is fucking dumb, by the way. Touchbacks go to the 30-yard line. It's stupid. You get 2 first downs, you're already at midfield. It's stupid. 10 years ago, a touchback was at the 20. Now it's at the 30. You're fucking around with all these dumb rules. Just fix overtime. The games will be way better. It should not have ended like that. Matt Stafford should have got another chance, in my opinion.
I agree. Before you bring Stulken on, I want to give a shout out. Actually, I'm going to give 2 game balls this week. I don't know if you saw this, but Riley Moss led the Broncos in tackles this week. Now, I don't know if it's because he was thrown at all the time, or maybe cornerbacks don't want to be the leading tackles. Either way, 12 tackles in his first NFL debut. Pretty impressive. So shout out Riley Moss, my former Hawkeye, and Ankeny Centennial Jag.
Shout out. You're right. It was a good weekend too for diversity. I saw that it was the most opening day quarterbacks, black quarterbacks. It was like 16 black quarterbacks starting opening day, and it was also the first time in NFL, or I think it was the first time in NFL history. It was a long time. At least it was a long time. But we had 2 white corners too as well start on opening day. Shout out diversity in the NFL.
Yeah, look at us.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's add our guest. Ryan Stulken is joining the fold here. Welcome.
What's up, boys? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
How are you guys doing?
Well, glad to be back. Yeah, glad to have you on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I know you guys are just talking about. Yeah, Week 1 dub, man. There's nothing else I can smile about. I'm only an NFL fan this year. I don't give a fuck about college football for no reason. Just didn't really give a shit about it before the year. Saturday didn't matter. Didn't really care. Wasn't emotional. Nah, fuck it.
I'll trade you. You know what? I'll trade if you can have the Vikings dub against New York Giants. We'll take the that's fair.
We'll go into that. I'm not going to overreact, but it was good to see him play well.
They're your Vikings. So you come into this season, you got 5-6 people out before the season even starts, including J.J. McCarthy, who you guys drafted, and you're relying on Sam Darnold, who all of a sudden looked like fucking Tom Brady out there on Sunday. Granted, you played the Giants, but you got to be pretty happy with how the Vikings looked.
Yeah, so I didn't watch the whole game. Watched the first half mainly just because the Giants are so fucking terrible. Like them and the Panthers, holy shit, dude. Like they're just so bad.
Week 6 London game, Giants-Panthers.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's going to be a horrible game. I'm not waking up at 8:30 to watch that shit. Well, I probably will still watch, but it's going to be horrible. But I don't know. It was good to see the Vikings play well. I think Sam Darnold's finally in a good spot. I think KOC just his schemes are really good. Obviously, he has really good weapons, which help, and obviously he played a bad defense. I'm not going to get too excited about the Vikings. I still don't think. I mean, I think they're lucky to win 7 or 8 games this year. But it was still good to see them compete. I think the offseason additions were really good. The defense looked really good, which was good. And then just looking at highlights of Kirk Cousins' day, like he looked horrible. And he wasn't even pushing off his back leg, is where he tore his Achilles on his right leg. He wasn't even like pushing off that on his interception. So like I'm really happy we didn't pay him, 40-50 million a year at age 36. So I think Sam will be a good bridge guy for JJ. Who knows? I mean, if Sam has a crazy year, you definitely can't pay him because they've already said JJ's the future, but it'll be interesting to see where he ends up because I do think if he stays healthy, he will have a really good year.
Meisner, I disagree with that statement, but I'll let you talk on that.
I thought getting Sam Darnold in the offseason was a great move. I think he can have a career revitalization in Minnesota. I thought it was a good move getting rid of Kmart Kirk. Never been high on him. He's a Michigan State legend. Other than that, his career he's never done anything really. He went farther with fucking Case Keenum in the playoffs than he did with them. Yeah. So I think giving Sam Darnold a chance while he's still young, he's out of the shitty Jets organization. He's got to see some time with good organizations. He's got to learn some things. I think he's talking about 7-8 wins. I think, maybe you're underselling yourself a bit. Maybe you could be 500, maybe make a wild card push.
Yeah. I don't want to get too excited because the next 2 weeks will be interesting because they have the 49ers at home and the Texans at home. If they can start 2-1, I'd feel okay about it. I mean, we're not going to win the division. And if you stumble into a wild card spot, they're not going to win a playoff game. But, I mean, it'd be cool to make the playoffs. I just think a lot of like the low key signings on defense with Jonathan Grenard and Van Ginkel and then Blake Cashman. And then you get Dallas Turner, who I think was probably the best defensive player in the draft. I think there's just a lot of tools for Flores to play with that I think will just be exciting. I mean, I don't have super high hopes, but it'll just be fun to see those guys grow and kind of play. And then the weapons offensively, I think TJ's status, Hawkinson, I think his status kind of depends on how the team's playing. I think if we're dog shit, they're not going to rush him back. He might not play the first 8 games, but if they're playing well and they start hot, they'll probably try to get him back out there. So it'll be interesting just to see. And then I don't know, with Jordan Love going down for 2 to 6 weeks, the Packers could start slow. I think the Bears stink. I think the Lions obviously are really good, but NFC North could be more interesting than people thought. I think a lot of people just thought it'd be Packers, Lions battling it out. Personally, I think the Packers are a little overhyped coming into the year, but it'll be interesting.
It's all summer. I'm chirping you and Broden. Your shit quarterback. You got J.J. McCarthy. You don't have a QB. And then now I'm sitting here after watching Sam Darnold look like Brady, and I'm starting Malik Willis next weekend. So karma's a bitch. Yeah. Luckily, it's not going to last for long. But if I remember right, you last year as a Vikings fan you were saying you would rather have them sort of tank for a draft pick than make the playoffs and have no chance. So are you still in the same boat?
Why Jake Beck's calling me right now?
Don't.
I wouldn't want them to tank. I just because I think it's kind of a competitive rebuild. I think just 7 to 8 wins, I'd be happy. But I do think I don't know. I'm excited about JJ. I think the future's bright, and just seeing I don't know for some reason after watching Week 1, there's so many bad quarterbacks in the NFL, and it's just nice finally. First time in years we're not stuck like paying a quarterback big money because it seems like a lot of teams are just in hell because of it, like Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, now the Falcons with Kirk Cousins. There's just a lot of teams that are just kind of stranded, and it's nice to finally not be like in that spot because we kind of were with Kirk. He gave us some good games, but in the end, you knew he wasn't going to come through in the playoffs.
No, I think you made a good point. I'm trying to find this tweet I saw about quarterback play. There was like 33 passing touchdowns this week.
I saw that too. And compared to like the last 10 years, it's all been like high 50s, mid 60s. So I don't know. I mean, I think credit to the defenses too. I think the defenses are just better in the NFL now. I think the athletes on the D line and just like the linebackers, I think they're a lot better. And I also think the O lines just aren't very good in the NFL anymore. I think it's just very rare to find a really solid O line.
Got a lot of new faces in new places too. I mean, this year especially, a lot of rookie quarterbacks starting. A lot of second years, I guess, are still there. But yeah, running backs are back. I mean, fuck, I thought Joe Mixon was washed. That motherfucker rushed for 160 some yards, and I think passing in general, like the attempts were even down, not just even touchdowns.
Yeah, it seemed, and maybe that'll like change. I mean, it's obviously only week 1, but yeah, there's a lot of running backs that look pretty good. I was pretty shocked by Tony Pollard too. He played well. So yeah, it'll be an exciting year.
Let's get into tonight's game. We've got 5 Cyclones playing, if you didn't know. So it's kind of a Cyclone matchup here. We're doing something different. I hinted at it this year. Meisner and I, everyone's going to have 2 picks every Monday Night Football game. Stulken's going to start off the guest list, but our goal is to beat – well, the goal is everyone to go undefeated, but Meisner and I are trying to stay above the guest record for picks in Monday Night Football. But let's just start the game in general. Brock, it should be awesome. Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers stays on the field. I kind of want to see the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. I don't know how you feel about that as a Vikings fan, but it should be a great game. It's in San Francisco. What do you guys see happening here tonight?
Did you guys just see that Christian McCaffrey's out?
Great.
No. Yeah, he's not playing tonight. That was it just broke like 10 minutes ago. So that'll be interesting. As much as I hated Rodgers in Green Bay, like I was so excited for last year when they opened up with the Bills and then he got hurt on the freaking like 3rd play. But I think the Jets will be pretty exciting. Just seeing Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson with finally a good quarterback, they could be really, really good. I think it might take a few weeks. And obviously their defense is great, but it'll be interesting because this is a really tough test on the road against the Niners, who obviously are pretty hungry off that Super Bowl loss. It'll be interesting without Christian McCaffrey, but one thing that I've learned, and I know I've talked to Mize about it, in really any sport, basketball too, when your star player's out, usually you take that team. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of action on the Jets tonight, and I think the 49ers might hand it to them. And now with the Christian McCaffrey news, every freaking dude in the public's hammering the Jets like, oh, this is free because the line's still at 3.5. So I lean Niners, I think.
Meisner?
I'm with you. I like that. I'm glad you just told me that. I think that's going to screw my fantasy week up. I saw that Christian McCaffrey was questionable all week. He played on Monday night. But everything I was reading, like we're confident he's going to play. So I'm going to have to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do in that game. But I think you're right. Now the Jets already had a lot of action coming in on them. Now they're going to get a ton more. So I would lean San Francisco on this. I think they're fine without him. And then I'm also going with the under, and that's hearing that news makes me more excited about that. There's a lot of action on the over. I got the under at 43.5. So that's what I got. And then we had a question about Breece Hall, his over under rushing. I would take the over on that one. Brees Hall in his last 3 games, going back to last year, he had 84 yards plus. I think he makes it a fourth. I think he's gonna have a big game.
I would agree. I think Brees Hall is going to have over that, but let me look at something. Yeah, it's rushing and receiving. I was going to look what the total was, but I actually don't like it. I'm on the opposite side. I'm on DK right now, and in fact, I'll just start off with my picks for my official picks for the Monday Night Football.
Okay.
30% of the or 70% of the bets placed are on the 49ers. I'm going to take the Jets plus 3.5. Aaron Rodgers hasn't lost a Monday Night Football game since 2011. I think their defense is going to keep them in the game. They lose by a field goal and still cover. So that's my first pick. And then my second pick, and I bet this a million times last year. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But Juwan Jennings over 19.5 receiving yards. Vegas seems to think he's going to get 2 receptions. I like it even more with McCaffrey out. If he's getting 2 receptions, odds are he's getting that over 19.5. So those are my 2 picks. Jets plus 3.5, Juwan Jennings over 19.5 receiving yards.
One thing that, I mean, it's obviously only week 1, but it seems like these primetime games so far, like especially last night, it seems like they kind of stay away from, like, Amon-Ra, like, not getting the ball last night, Laporta barely getting the ball. It seems like they kind of stay away from the superstars. So that's kind of what I'm going to do tonight. There's one pick I really like, and it is Allen Lazard over 1.5 receptions, minus 138. So I think Garrett Wilson's obviously going to get a lot of action from, like, betting wise. Everyone's going to be on him. They're going to think he's going to have a huge year, which I think he will too. Obviously the Niners defense is really good. They're going to be keyed on him. Lazard went to New York for one reason. That's for Aaron Rodgers. He's one of Aaron Rodgers' guys. And I think in big games, when the spotlight's on Rodgers, he goes to the guys he trusts. And Lazard is a guy that he trusts. Obviously, he had a role in getting him to New York. And in Green Bay, I feel like Lazard is always making big plays. And when he was with any other quarterback, like last year when Rodgers wasn't there, I feel like Lazard kind of fell off. I think Rodgers finds him. And their receiver, too, is Mike Williams. There's really no chemistry there with Rodgers and Mike Williams. Mike Williams is literally a roulette wheel. Like, you just never know what you're going to get. You might get a big 80-yard touchdown, or you might get one catch for 7 yards. So I think Lazard is a great play tonight. I also am going to throw a little bit on him to score a touchdown. I think it's like plus 500, which isn't great, but
plus 600 now.
I don't know. I think Rodgers finds the guys that he loves, and Lazard's a guy that he loves. So I love him to get for sure. And then I do like the Niners. They're a big first half team. I like they always first half and first quarter. I don't know what like the total stats are on it, but they always seem to do well in the first couple quarters. Going to kind of eat the juice though with the first half money line. It's minus 160, but I think they kind of come out strong. They're all a great game. I mean, Vegas is going to make it a good game. It's a big spotlight game with Rodgers back and the Niners at home. So I lean Niners though overall.
Real quick, I love that Allen Lazard pick. Rodgers loves loyal receivers. Randall Cobb over the years, Devontae Adams, these people that stick around for him. He looks for him in spots where he's in a pinch on third downs. I love that Allen Lazard bet. The touchdown and the over 1.5. But good picks. Meisner, what are your official picks for your first Monday Night Football in this segment?
Give me the under 43.5. And then I'm going to go with kind of a team prop. I think that the first team I think the 49ers will have the first score of the game. I think it's like plus 190 for a scoring play. So give me the under and the Niners to score first.
I like it. But going with you, Stulken, you're kind of cheating the game here a little bit with the minus 138, minus 165, but we'll let it slide. I like that 49ers. What was that? Plus what to score?
I've seen plus 190.
I like that as well.
First scoring play.
Yeah, I think overall it's just going to be a great game. I think any NFL fans just excited to see Rodgers back. And the Jets obviously have the championship defense, so it'll just be – I mean, it's a great week 1 game. So should be exciting.
Yeah, I'm pumped for it. Like I said, 5 Cyclones in the mix tonight. That's including Kene Nwanga, who It literally is that. I'm pretty sure Kene.
I don't know who the hell he signed with.
Yeah, he signed with the Jets yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago. So he's there. Will McDonald, Allen Lazard, Brees Hall, and then obviously Brock Purdy and his new Toyota. So
Yep. I'm interested to see if Braylon Allen gets any action or not. I know his props at 11.5. Like, I think that's either an easy over or an easy under. Because Brees Hall is obviously the workhorse, but it'll be interesting to see if he gets carries or not. So no real lean either way. But gosh, I mean, if I take the under, he's gonna freaking have 40 yards easy, and then if I take the under or the over, then he just won't fucking play.
well, should be interesting. First segment, new segment this week. Hopefully we go 6-0 in the 2 weeks. If anyone's tailing us out there, good luck. And yeah, like you said, hopefully we win some money and see a great game tonight.
For sure. It's good to be back in the saddle again for another season. Episode 1, Season 2 of Lame on the Line is in the books. Thanks for everyone who joined tonight. We are saying goodbye in this one.